Once you make the decision to get a pet and decide on the breed, the next question is, where should I get the pet? Many people go through breeders or shelters, and each has pros and cons to consider. Buying from a reputable breeder usually comes with a higher price tag, which might be worth it if you're looking for a specific type of dog, especially if you want a puppy. Finding a breeder and the perfect puppy can be stressful. As I was writing this, I found so much information, but realized very little of it is regulated. After extensive research, I was able to identify a few key things to consider when selecting a breeder. First, ask questions. Ask as many questions as you may have and try to find out as much about the breeder and the living conditions of the puppies as possible, especially if you are not within driving distance of the breeder's location. Second, get lots of referrals. Ask the breeder for contact information from past clients to find out about their experience with the breeder and the pet. Try to connect with clients who have had their pet for a few years, if possible, so you can hear about any health or behavioral issues. Third, do your own research. We all know how easy it is now to post reviews and find information about companies. This is no different for breeders. To get an idea of their reputation, search the internet for any reviews you can find. It is really important that you focus on buying a puppy from a reputable and responsible breeder because there are so many scams that you need to protect yourself from. There are a lot of horror stories of people getting a sick puppy or a puppy of a different breed, as well as families never receiving their pet. This year, PetScams.com has listed over 32,000 fraudulent pet websites. A search for breeders on ripoffreport.com lists 5,563 reports of fraud. Many breeder scams continue without repercussion, though some are caught and face criminal charges. Last year, a Maryland man was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison and financial penalties over $300,000 for scamming people into paying money for puppies online that did not exist. In total, 119 families fell victim to this man's scam and lost an average of $650 each. In addition to the effects of financial exploitation, this also created a large emotional toll on the victims. The American Kennel Club, a national organization that oversees the purebred dog standards and supports reputable breeding practices, gives you a list of red flags you need to watch out for so you do not become a victim of a breeder scam. Be leery of sellers who do not accept phone calls and will only communicate with you via email. You should be able to communicate with breeders through multiple channels, including video chat. Keep an eye out for unauthentic photos of the animals. Do a search to determine if the photo is stock or original. An effective way to do this is through a reverse image search on images.google.com. You should also never be asked to pay with gift cards, and the payment method should be secure. When it comes to the cost of the pet, you should make sure the price is reasonable and in line with what you expected, especially when buying a purebred dog. If the price seems deeply discounted, that could be the sign of a scam. While going through a breeder can get you the exact dog or cat you want, going through a local or breed-specialized shelter has a tremendous number of benefits. First and foremost, adopting from a shelter allows you to help an animal in need. Many of the pets available have gone through hard times and are ready to find their forever home. Sadly, many states still operate kill shelters, so time can be of the essence also. Second, it is way less expensive to adopt from a shelter than to go through a breeder. Adoption fees can be anywhere from $50 to $150 and may include some of the vet expenses you would incur with a puppy or kitten purchased from a breeder, such as vaccines and microchipping. There are challenges to adoption, but it's worth looking into for your family. Some animal shelters allow a trial adoption period, which is great if you are concerned about bringing an older animal into your home, especially if you have children or other pets. Even with adoption, there are costs you need to be prepared for. You will have to take your new dog or cat to the vet to be checked out, and he or she might need additional vaccines or have to be spayed or neutered. Not all shelters were created equal, so it is important that you do some homework before picking one, much like you would research a breeder. The safest approach is to go to a local shelter where you can tour the facility and physically meet your potential pet before adopting. During the pandemic, there has been an increase in the amount of online animal rescues, but there have also been significant scams related to them. Visiting a local shelter will help you mitigate many risks and will give you the opportunity to assess the animal's health. Finding the right pet for your family can be a lot of work and tricky, but following our suggestions will keep you financially safe whether you go through a breeder or a shelter. In our next segment, we are going to talk about budgeting for the cost of healthcare for your new family member. We hope you can join us.